If you love emotional real-life stories that touch your heart and remind you never to judge a book by its cover, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because today's story will leave you speechless until the very last line. They set up the janitor as a joke on a blind date, until the CEO spoke, and silence filled the room. It all started with laughter, the kind of laughter that hides arrogance behind charm. Four young executives from a high-end marketing firm in downtown Chicago sat at their favorite cafe, sipping overpriced coffee and gossiping about the new janitor who had just joined their building. His name was Daniel. A quiet, middle-aged man in his early 40s, with kind eyes, slightly wrinkled hands, and a humble nature. He cleaned floors with care, greeted everyone with respect, and never raised his voice, no matter how many times someone ignored or mocked him. Among those executives was Emma, a talented but ambitious young woman, someone who believed that success meant power and image. Her friends often teased her about being too serious and decided she needed a laugh. That's when Ben, the jokester of the group, came up with an idea. "Let's set Emma up on a blind date with the janitor," he whispered, smirking. The table burst into laughter. Emma rolled her eyes, but when Ben insisted he could make it funny, she reluctantly agreed, thinking it would just be harmless fun. They planned everything. They told Daniel that someone wanted to meet him, a special lady who admired his kindness. Daniel was surprised, even shy, but he accepted after a moment of hesitation. "I haven't been on a date in years," he said softly. "But I suppose there's no harm in meeting someone." The date was set for Friday evening at an upscale restaurant the executives often visited. What Daniel didn't know was that everyone from the office had been invited secretly to watch from nearby tables. They wanted to see the janitor walk in, nervous and awkward, sitting across from a woman who would eventually reveal the joke. They expected laughter, not tears. When Friday arrived, Daniel showed up early. He wore his best outfit, a clean, slightly old-fashioned gray suit, polished black shoes, and a tie that looked like it had been worn on very special occasions. He held a single red rose in his hand. He stood at the entrance nervously, scanning faces, his heart beating fast. Emma arrived soon after, stunning in an elegant black dress, her confidence shining, but inside, she felt uneasy. As she walked toward him, Daniel smiled. "You must be Emma," he said kindly, handing her the rose. For a moment, she froze. Something about the sincerity in his voice, the warmth in his eyes, it wasn't funny anymore. But before she could respond, she noticed Ben and the others sitting in the corner, hiding their laughter behind their menus. Emma's heart sank. Daniel, unaware of the mockery, began to talk. He spoke about life, about working hard, and about the value of kindness. He told her how he once dreamed of being an engineer but had to give up college when his father got sick. "I clean floors now," he said, "but I try to make each one shine, because everyone deserves to walk on something clean and bright." Emma felt a lump in her throat. She had expected awkwardness, not wisdom. The laughter from the corner table grew softer. One by one, her friends began to realize this wasn't a joke anymore, it was cruelty disguised as entertainment. But then the evening took an unexpected turn. As they ate, a group of men in suits entered the restaurant. The staff immediately straightened up, whispering. The CEO of the marketing firm, Mr. Allen, had just walked in. Everyone at the corner table panicked. Mr. Allen never showed up at casual dinners. He was known for being serious, sharp, and intimidating. When he spotted Daniel, his face lit up with recognition. "Daniel," he said, walking straight toward their table. Emma and her friends froze. Mr. Allen extended his hand with respect. "It's been a long time, old friend." The entire room fell silent. Daniel stood up, surprised but smiling. "Mr. Allen," he said softly. "It's been years." Emma looked between them in disbelief. Mr. Allen turned to her and said, "You're having dinner with one of the most intelligent and humble men I've ever known." Daniel was my mentor when I started my first company 20 years ago. I wouldn't be where I am without him." Gasps filled the room. The laughter that had once echoed in the corner was gone. Every executive sitting there suddenly felt their pride crumble. Mr. Allen continued, his tone serious now. "Life has its way of testing us. Daniel chose humility over fame. He taught me that success without kindness is failure." He looked around at the group. "I hope you all remember that." Tears welled in Emma's eyes. She couldn't look up. Daniel simply nodded, saying quietly, "I've just tried to live honestly." Mr. Allen put a hand on his shoulder. "Tomorrow morning, come to my office. I have a position waiting for you, one that suits your heart and your talent." The next day, Daniel walked into the building not as a janitor but as a senior facilities director, a leadership role. The same people who once laughed now greeted him with respect. Emma apologized in person, tears in her eyes. "I don't deserve your forgiveness," she whispered. Daniel smiled. "Maybe not, but forgiveness isn't something we deserve. It's something we give." Months passed, and Daniel's presence changed the office completely. He started small programs to help employees in need, taught young workers about humility, and even helped Emma rediscover her sense of purpose. She became one of his biggest supporters. And that joke, that cruel plan, became a story everyone in the company would remember, a story about how quickly laughter can turn into shame, and how kindness can silence even the loudest crowd. In the end, the lesson was clear: never underestimate the quiet ones, because sometimes, they carry the loudest truth. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because true stories like these remind us that respect and compassion never go out of style.